Building an MVP isn't just about launching, it's about learning. The true power of an MVP comes from the data you collect and how you analyze it. Data turns opinions into evidence. It helps you make informed decisions, validate assumptions, and uncover what your users truly need. In short, collecting and analyzing MVP data is how you turn your experiment into a real business. Let's start with the basics. Your MVP is designed to test hypotheses. So before collecting any data, define what you're testing. Maybe you're validating that users want your solution, that they'll pay for it, or that they'll use it frequently. Each hypothesis requires specific metrics. Without clear goals, even the best data won't tell you much. Once your goals are defined, decide what kind of data to collect. There are two main types, quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative data gives you numbers, signups, click-through rates, retention, and conversion percentages. It tells you what is happening. Qualitative data gives you context, user feedback, interviews, and surveys. It tells you why it's happening. You need both to see the full picture. Start by setting up tracking tools. Google Analytics, Mixpanel, and Amplitude are excellent for understanding user behavior. They show how users navigate your site or app, where they drop off, and which features get the most engagement. For early MVPs, you don't need complex dashboards, just a few key metrics tied to your core hypothesis. Here are some common MVP metrics to track. Activation rate, the percentage of users who complete a key action, like signing up or creating their first project. Retention rate, how many users return after their first visit. Conversion rate, the percentage of users who take a desired action, like subscribing or purchasing. Churn rate, how many users stop using your product over time. Net Promoter Score, a simple way to measure user satisfaction and loyalty. The key is not to track everything. Track only what matters to your hypothesis. If you're testing whether users will sign up, focus on acquisition and activation. If you're testing engagement, focus on retention and feature usage. Now let's talk about qualitative insights. Numbers tell you what's happening, but user conversations tell you why. Conduct short interviews or send surveys to your early adopters. Ask questions like, what problem were you trying to solve? What almost stopped you from using the product? Or what would make this experience better? These open-ended questions reveal pain points and motivations that analytics can't show. Another useful method is user session recording with tools like Hotjar or FullStory. Watching how real people interact with your MVP can be eye-opening. You'll see where they hesitate, what confuses them, and how they actually use your product versus how you imagine they would. Once you've collected both types of data, the next step is analysis. Look for patterns. For example, if many users drop off after signing up, it might mean your onboarding process is too complicated. If users are spending more time on one unexpected feature, that could signal an opportunity for a pivot. Visualization helps here. Create simple charts or funnels to visualize user flow. A funnel analysis might show that 70% of visitors reach your sign-up page, but only 20% complete the process. That's a clear optimization target. But analysis isn't just about identifying problems. It's about finding insights to guide your next iteration. Always tie your conclusions back to your hypothesis. Ask yourself, does this data validate or invalidate our assumptions? If it validates, double down. If not, pivot or adjust. Feedback loops are crucial. Use your insights to make small, targeted changes, then measure the impact. This cycle, build, measure, learn, is the heartbeat of the Lean Startup methodology. The faster you run this loop, the faster you move toward product-market fit. It's also important to separate vanity metrics from actionable metrics. Vanity metrics look impressive, but don't help decision-making, like total page views or downloads. Actionable metrics drive understanding, like active users, feature adoption, or conversion rate. Focus on data that leads to action, not just applause. To stay organized, document everything. Keep a simple spreadsheet or Notion board of your hypotheses, experiments, and outcomes. This helps you and your team track progress and make data-driven decisions instead of guessing. Remember, Early MVP data doesn't have to be perfect. Small sample sizes and limited users are normal. What matters is the direction of the data. Are metrics improving with each iteration? Are users engaging more deeply? That momentum is what validates your product. Finally, use data to tell a story. When you present findings to your team, investors, or stakeholders, connect the dots. Instead of just saying our activation rate is 30%, say 30% of users activate because our onboarding is simple, but we lose them at step 3, so our next sprint will focus on simplifying that step. Data storytelling turns raw numbers into strategic insights. In summary, collecting and analyzing MVP data is about learning faster and smarter. Define your hypotheses, track the right metrics, combine numbers with human insights, and iterate based on evidence. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Because every data point brings you one step closer to building a product people can't live without.